Hi guys, welcome back aboard. Well, you're on board already, I'm glad to say that. But we're talking about finding something to do in Thailand that doesn't cost money. And it's obvious, Nana isn't one of those places. Although it's a wonderful place and it's got great entertainment and you'll have a ball, but it costs money, like anything else does, more or less. But I'm in a place today, you probably know this is our retreat in Pontoutini, my wife's second home. Her main home, actually, she plans to retire here, and it's completely rural. And everything I've done today, apart from driving up here, everything I've done since I got here is absolutely free. Apart from watching videos on my phone on YouTube, which obviously I have to pay for the internet and stuff like that. But apart from that, what I'm doing now is absolutely free, making a YouTube video. And that's something I can impart to you. If you're looking for something to do that doesn't really cost too much money, starting up a YouTube channel in Thailand, every Tom, Dick and Harry is doing it or has done it. And it doesn't necessarily have to cost you anything. You can do it on your phone, whatever phone you have, just buy a cheap tripod or whatever it may be, or you don't even have to do that, but you can start a YouTube channel. And not only is a YouTube channel potentially going to yield some kind of income for you if you keep at it, it does act as a kind of therapy, like this channel does for me. It acts as a therapy because I get to talk to you guys, because the people that are here, no fault of theirs, they don't speak English. And that's something that you'll find that you're going to have to come to grips with, that because you're, and I've said that, I don't want to repeat myself, because you're on the periphery, because you're in the parallel universe, because you don't speak Thai, you will find yourself isolated, and in that isolation an opportunity may be born. So it may be YouTube, it may be cycling. I spoke to a guy on one of my last videos on the Big Picture El Panorama. God, I can't think of his name now. Martin Bravo. He's got his own YouTube channel. He mentioned places you can go in this video here. There's a link in the description to that video, and you can listen to Martin talking about, he's 9 years here in Thailand, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, and he finds himself things to do. He mentioned the park, I forget the name of the park, where you can go cycling, and it's a wide open space. I was in a park there the other day in Sukhumvit. This is where I met him, just off Soi 22, Ben Cha Siri, I think that's what it's called, park. Wonderful place to stroll around, if it's not too hot, but it's always hot, but wonderful place to stroll around. You got Lupini Park, places and things like that. You can find yourself something to do that doesn't necessarily cost money, because fortunately for us, Thailand is a playground, and you've got to pay for a playground, but sometimes you pay too much for your playground. Like you can excuse me, you can frequent those kind of places all too much. So finding something to do, a hobby is crucial for your well-being. Because if you, and I'm speaking from my, I always say I only make a video on this channel when I'm passionate about what I'm talking about, and I am passionate about this. I've fallen down the slippery slope of drinking as I do me videos on YouTube for the Big Picture El Panorama. It's just the way it is. I was in Sukhumvit the other night, and I didn't go into any bars or anything like that, although I did interview a lot of people, but I was buying a Leo here and a Leo there out of 7-Eleven as I was going round. It was very hot, and I needed to, it was kind of, it's a party atmosphere there, and, excuse me, I got into the spirit of it, and I had a few Leo, but it cost me. And then I sat, where did I sit? I sat down outside some place that sold bottles of beer. I was just sitting on a seat down by Soi 22. I was talking to a girl, but that's all I was doing. I didn't do anything like, there was nothing happening. But still, I ended up spending over 1,000 baht that night. And I was making that video to make money. And I look at it as a cost to sell. So the slippery slope I'm talking to you about is me, that I have now my cost to sell, my cost to produce YouTube videos is going up and up and up, because I make my YouTube videos on that channel at night time, and at night time you're going into the thick of it. And if you like a beer, now, do you know something? And I know a lot of fellas are going to say this, that I'm an alcoholic, and this is not a defense. I am not an alcoholic. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an alcoholic. I know that. I don't need alcohol. I don't use alcohol to adjust my mood or anything like that. I use alcohol as part of my nightly routine in terms of what I do, and I don't do it to excess that much. But I just want to say that, and people may contradict me, but I know I'm not. I can go without alcohol for days on end. I prefer milk. I would say this. I can live without alcohol, but I can't live without milk. But your sanity, your preservation of your mental well-being depends on how you employ your time when you're here. And as I said to Martin Bravo, we identified the fact that there is so many things that you can do that will afford you the opportunity to spend as much money as you possibly can, and you don't want to really do that unless you're here on megabucks, unless you can afford to do that. And if you can afford to do that, fair enough. But going out drinking every night, or going down to Suckerfit and places like this on a regular basis, it'll do your head in. So I'm in a kind of a retreat today. And I'm not outside because it's raining, it's the rainy season. But I'm unplugged. Although I'm using my phone, I know, but I'm really unplugged. I'm not proactively doing anything. And it's relaxing. But you've got to realise that you have to be proactive in terms of the preservation of your sanity when you come here, because you can go off your rocker. And you don't need me to tell you that many guys have fallen and spent all their money and had to hightail it back home, and whatever it may be, or they married the wrong girl and they were fleeced. There's lots of horror stories here. There's oodles of horror stories here, and thankfully I'm not in that category, and I'm thankful for that. I have the wherewithal to withdraw myself from a bad habit in terms of drinking every night. I don't do it. I do it, but I don't do it half as much as I used to do it in terms of drinking every night. Although, is there any harm? Is there any harm at 60 years old in having a couple of beers every night? I mean, what is it? I mean, my father died when he was 84, 85. And he used to smoke in the 70s, as everybody did. I remember him sitting back in the armchair watching TV and the old black and white, whatever, in the 70s. And he'd puff like this. And he'd take it in a specific way, blow it out in a specific way. He really enjoyed his smokes. But he gave up smoking, I think it was in the 80s. And he retired in 1993. And I wasn't living with my parents at that stage. I went back home one day to visit, and my father was standing on the doorstep of the house, and he was smoking. And he'd been retired now, you see. And I says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm retired. I might as well enjoy." Like, he was in his 60s. I might as well enjoy my life. And luckily for him, smoking didn't kill him. He had Alzheimer's. God bless him. But that's what I say. You make allowances for yourself if you're at a loose end, but don't make too many allowances for yourself, if you know what I mean. So I say the odd beer here and there, if you can control it. Smoking, I tell you what, I'm not going to show it because you're not supposed to show it. I've turned to the vapor. I'm not going to say stuff, and that's as bad. It really is as bad. I don't know why I did. I gave up smoking 2.5 years ago, and I went back on for a week or two, and I went back, and I have no interest in smoking anymore. I just can't do it. And for one day, somebody I was with had a vape, and they asked me to take a puff, and I said, "That's nice." And it was like shisha. I used to smoke shisha when I lived in Dubai. Used to go to a restaurant to give you a shisha, you know the way it is. And it was very nice and pleasant. But the problem with vaping is, and this falls under the category of things you can do to occupy your time, let's say, but you can vape all your waking hours. You have the thing in your hand, subconsciously, you keep going, you know. And that's the thing about vaping, you can't regulate it like a cigarette. Like a cigarette, you take it, it finishes, you stab it out, it's gone. With vaping, it's like smoking a pipe, I suppose, years ago. But vaping in itself has its own, I'm not blind to the fact, vaping on its own has its own dangers. So I'm rambling on a bit here, but that's the message in this video is you need to have yourself a hobby. You need to be constructive with your time, because if you're not, you'll just fall down that slippery slope. And that's it, because this is a playground, this is a very relaxing place to be, and you feel like you're not in the real world sometimes. But after living here for 11 years, this is the real world for me. I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes as I'm talking to you. I can see them flying around there. You feel like you're not living in the real world, but after 11 years, it is the real world. And I earn me money in Thai baht, and I respect Thai baht. When I first came here, though, Thai baht was like monopoly money to me. I said, what the hell is this? We all probably felt that way. Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit too much, but I hope you get the message of what I'm talking about. And I hope that you have you have a good lifestyle. You enjoy your life in Thailand, because Thailand's an amazing place to live, and there's lots of so many things to enjoy for free. So guys, if you've enjoyed this, if you have any comments to make sure you put your comment in the comment section. Click the like button, the share button, subscribe button. Do all those wonderful things, and I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me. Hello there.